Yeah, hi there. These comments are for SA, and I am the founder, owner, and the materials writer for the online TOEFL course called the 7-Step System to Pass the TOEFL IBT. And you are one of my English 102B instructors. You're one of my English 102B students at California State University, San Bernardino. So, I read your paper. I have two concerns. Number one, you turned in the paper past the due date, which you're not allowed to do. Number two, you turned in your paper with no workshop notes. Now, how do I even know you wrote this paper? And why did you turn it in past the deadline? You see what I'm saying? So the whole purpose of a first-year composition class is to get you used to workshopping, working on papers in stages. That means that we'll work on the paper, then we'll have a self-assessment workshop. We'll work on the paper a little bit more, then we'll have some peer reviews. Then we'll work on the paper a little bit more, and we'll have some editing workshops. You have no notes from any of those workshops, and you turned in the paper past the due date. You see what I'm saying? So I'm very concerned. I mean, a lot of professors wouldn't even take your paper at this point, and I'm not even sure if you wrote this paper, right? So I read it, I scored it. I'll give you a break on it this time. I'm going to give you 78% out of 100. And part of the problem with the actual paper is your topic. So you have a good topic. It's very focused. So you have the executive action on immigration. To me, so this is a great argument right now. This is something that's been argued. It just happened. The president issued an executive order on immigration. It's very controversial, and some people say that it's well within his constitutional authority as a president to issue the order. Other people disagree and say no, he should have gone through Congress before trying to do this order. That's really the argument. Now, if you had focused your whole paper on just that, remember that there's a lot of topics here. A lot of what you did in your essay, it went beyond that. It went to other areas. For example, paragraph 3, you say people on the left seem to want them legalized and even given a chance to become American citizens. But to me, if you frame your topic around what you're trying to do here, say some believe that the president had the power to issue the executive order, right? And then that would have been very, very focused. So paragraph 4, you say that talk led to some debate over immigration. Then there was a bipartisan bill which passed in the Senate about a year ago but was never allowed. To me, that's a whole nother argument. The argument, if you want to bring that topic up and use that as the backbone of your paper, you could argue why the House of Representatives should have signed that bill, and then the whole paper focuses on that. So what we have here is we have the immigration with a whole bunch of subtopics, and you went in a lot of different directions, but you should have only focused on the executive order area. That would have been a great paper. That would have been an A paper, actually. So I think paragraph 5 does relate to what you're trying to do. I think paragraph 6 is pretty focused. Paragraph 7 is good. Paragraph 8 is okay. But then when you get to paragraph 9, you kind of lose your focus. You say the big issue is that America is lagging behind other nations in attracting the best and most talented, which is used to lead. To me, that's not relevant to what you're trying to do. You're trying to argue whether or not the executive order that the president issued was constitutional. So paragraph 9 doesn't relate to that. Paragraph 10, you say, it remains to be seen what will become of those illegal immigrants. Again, this is another topic for another paper. Paragraph 10 needs to focus on whether or not the executive order that the president offered was constitutional. So both paragraphs 9 and 10 don't really serve that purpose. They're not related to what you're trying to do in this paper. Paragraph 11, you say there has to be a solution to the issue because it can't go on like this. Again, that doesn't really connect back to your topic. Paragraph 11 says the executive actions of the president provide temporary relief and are well within his rights as president, but they don't do nearly enough and make it harder for meaningful reform to happen. I think that the executive action was uncalled for and harmful to the issue at hand. Now that's a good paragraph. I like that one. That one directly goes to your title. It directly goes back to your thesis. However, you didn't spend a lot of time developing that. If you had done more analysis in that last paragraph, paragraph 12, in fact, if you had maybe 4 paragraphs that explain that idea, you're saying that it's well within his rights. Why is the executive order within his rights as a president? And then maybe explain maybe 1 or 2 paragraphs supporting that. But then you say the executive action was uncalled for and harmful to the issue. Why is it uncalled for? Why is it harmful? You spent some paragraphs developing that. You have had a lot more depth and complexity of thought to this particular paper. All right, so the paper as is, it just kind of goes in a lot of different directions with immigration. It's not really focused around a specific area of immigration. So your score here is 78% out of 100. Now remember that you could have gotten no credit for completing this paper because you submitted it late, and you didn't even turn in any workshop notes to prove to me that you actually wrote this paper. So don't do that again. All right? You got to show me you got some writing skill here. Let's go to the actual grades now. Let's see where you are right now. And don't forget to register for English 103B. If you haven't done that, do that today. Okay, so you still have your group project. So you get 78 on this topic. So you have an 82. Make sure you do the group project, because if you don't do the group project, that will lower your grade down to 74. All right, anyway, thank you for completing the paper, and I look forward to having you as a student next quarter.